Hi guys, I'm back with this Neutrino week that is all about contribution and power skills and money. It's about money. Yeah, let us see, because money is another aspect of the quarter of civilization, because it's really about the matter, about form. So let's see how everything works together. So 2 days ago, the sun and the earth has entered this couple of gates, the 8th gate, the gate of contribution, holding together, and the 14th gate, the gate of the wagon, power skills, possession in great measures, and we also have the money line. So this combination is very, very interesting. By the way, we see the channel of recognition, but it's really going to, I think when I'm recording it, it will already disappear. So I'm not going to look at it. I'm just going to say something about these nodes. I will talk about it later, but even though I have a defined solar plexus and I all the time feel this juiciness of life, or actually produce my own juiciness, but I really feel the difference when the 30th gate started working in my energy field, and I can really feel this desire. This is really different from my very tribal emotionality. It gives a new aspect, and I love this aspect, and I totally embrace it according, of course, to my strategy and authority. But it's juicy. It's very, very tasty for me to feel this desire. Okay, so let us look what's going on. So the gate of contribution, the 8th gate, holding together the basic worth realized in contributing individual efforts to group goals. So this is one of the identity leadership channels, these 3 channels that connect the G center and the throat. They all have these aspects of leadership, and this is the individual role model, creative role model that leads by example and not really caring if people follow it or not. They just give their contribution in a very individual way. They show the creative individual direction, and those who follow, and those who don't, and everything is okay. So we have this voice of I can contribute. And of course, because of the money line, which is defined by Venus and Mars, which is interesting to see these 2 forces that we use to put them as male and female forces. Together they form the money line. So this global conditioning pattern lights up the 8th gate and make us feel this contribution, this need to contribute, to lead, to give our example, to give this individual mutative contribution to the collective, and in this case also to the tribe. And we have this very strong channel of tribal leadership, which we will discuss soon. So this is the 8th gate, which the 8th gate and the 14th are part of the cross of contagion. And this is really interesting because this way of individual leadership by example is really contagious sometimes. Yes, it's amazing. And of course, the 14th gate. The 14th gate is definitely contagious when the wagon is full. Yes, we are talking about possession in great measure, the accumulation and retention of power through skilled interaction, coupling grace with control. Now, it's very, very interesting because we are talking about a gate that is part of a very strong penta channel, and also a Wa channel. And this channel is really about money. And it's interesting that there are only two channels in this body graph which are touching the matter of money, the business of money directly. And these two channels, or at least the 14th gate, which is the power for the fuel for the direction, material direction, yes, and the money line are combined together now for us in the transit field. And this, looking at this chart this morning, I just realized something so beautiful, that what we get from the transits is an opportunity to see and to experience everything that happens. But the beauty is that every time, let's say last year in this time, the 8th and the 14th were also in the Sun Earth, and they were in the third line a year ago, but the other gates that were activated were different. So we experience every situation, every day differently. And it's, I remember when I was studying in the analyst training, I remember my teacher, Genoa, he said something very beautiful about the not self. He said that the not self has its box of tools, not self strategies in Ra's words, that it uses every time that it recognizes a situation that reminds it the situation that happened in the past. In other words, we have these life neutrinos that come as people or as transits. They push the buttons we already have there. Now, the not self uses the same tools in similar situations, but actually there is no situation that is the same as another. And the transit field shows us now what he meant when he said that, because actually things are never the same. It's just the not self is so homogenized that the minute it feels the 8th gate neutrino comes, it behaves in a certain way. But if we live as ourselves, if we really succumb to our differentiation, yes, surrender to our differentiation, then we are not reacting mentally, and we are not reacting automatically from our pushed buttons, even though they are pushed, because this data, this information that comes through neutrinos from the transits or from other people, they push buttons. But if we are not acting upon these pushed buttons, then we can experience every situation as a new situation, because this is real life. Life never repeats itself, even though the mind thinks it does. So I could really relate to this explanation of the not self, which is really acting automatically with this toolbox that it has, and it just takes out automatically the tool that is needed, but actually no tools are needed. We have our strategy, which is refined by our differentiation. The more we live our design, yes, and we have our very unique decision-making process, because again, even if we are emotional, and 50% of the people are emotional, their authority is over time and blah, blah, but each one has their own specific design and their own specific wave and their own specific wave that reacts to any response, invitation, reaction to life, and so on. So we have no need for these toolbox, and we have no need to act on these pushed buttons. This is just information that repeats itself again and again, but we can experience it completely different and respond and react and answer these invitations or these cosmic movements differently. And this is the beautiful experience. And what I'm noticing now when I look at these transits, yeah, I can see that we have the issue of money in the air. Now, this is so beautiful because I'm working for the last month, I'm working on my beliefs that are about money. Like, I'm trying to clean all these buttons, or let's say, see how I don't want to continue being pushed there and react in the same way that I'm always reacting. And of course, I see this reflection from many people that come to me, that we all talk about money and we all want to solve this thing about allowing more money in our lives and blah, blah. And then I see this transit chart and I say, it's beautiful, because what happened is the program just answered my wish and brought me personally this thing about money. And if we see, if we talk for a minute about the money line, yes, and the money line will be here until the 21st. We have a few days to feel this yin-yang, female, male energy, because of Venus and Mars, of the money line, and to feel it with the 14th gate and with the 8th gate. It's all about contagion. It's all about possession in great measures, fueling our material direction, and really educating the tribe in order to give it more skills, power skills to make more money and to be more connected materially. So the whole thing is there. And of course, this is a manifestor channel, this money line, and it's the only voice of the tribe. It talks in this voice of I have or I don't have, or when it is more transcendent, it says we have or we don't have, because it's, it's really about being the king or the queen of the tribe. And we have this combination and we can look at it. And, I heard Ra once talk about money, and I was really connected to this, because as long as we want to have more money. All of us want to have more money, because money is the thing that connects us to more, advanced life in a material way. And we all use money for everything, and we want it, and we want to support ourselves financially, we want to be independent, and blah, blah. But the thing is that because all of these beliefs and patterns that we have scarred inside of us, yes, in our DNA, deep in our DNA, this karmic printing that we have about money. So some of us hold what we have and don't want to let it out, and others hold and don't let things in. I mean, we do it unconsciously. But it's very interesting that I got this realization while talking with a manifest, a friend that has the money line. We were talking, we both wanted to buy a certain online course, and she already bought it, and she had this thought. Yes, she had this thought about sharing it with me. And she shared this thought with me, and my mind liked it because it means I wouldn't have to pay for the course. But my inner authority didn't move, and I wrote her, you know what, let's talk about it. And then a few days later, we had this conversation, and she said, I really want to give you this, but on the other hand, I don't feel it's okay, because we are actually preventing this man that made this course, we prevent him from earning this money. And I said that this is what I feel. I mean, my authority doesn't accept this because it is incorrect for me to do. Now, we are both defined egos. She is the money line itself, and I have the 21st, and both of us are very tribal. So we have this inner dignity to this work that people are doing, and we don't want to sabotage in their the way they earn money. And this connects with what I've heard Ras saying, that really money is energy that is flowing, and we shouldn't hold it. We shouldn't stop the flow. If we are buying, it's almost like we are getting paid. It's actually the same, because if we buy, then the flow of money, the flow of energy will come to this empty place and fill it, and vice versa. Now, the thing is that it connects with understanding this channel. When I was reading at the beginning of my studies about this channel, I remember that Ras said that people that have this channel usually find difficulties with money. And the same thing about the 214. And it's interesting because you really need to be spiritually open and educated in order to understand that to have money is also to give it. You can't keep it in yourself. And this specific friend I'm talking about, she always saying to me, I love to pay. And this is inspiration. This is a very impactful inspiration that really shows and teaches the way to deal with money. And she carries the money line, and she's a splenic manifestor. So she, and it's totally unconscious in her design. This channel is totally unconscious, and this is beautiful to see how the body understands, and the connection to the intuition. Both channels are that connect her spleen to the spleen, the ego, and the whole money line. Everything is red. So it's really inside this understanding, inside her body, this understanding about giving and taking, giving and paying and getting back. This is a supportive action. This is a supportive instinct and intuition that shows us what supportive action will bring the flow of money to our lives. I mean, this is so beautiful just to see how the mechanics, how the program, and we are part of the program, how it shows us the correct way to deal with energy. Money is just energy, to see how that really needs to be dealt with. I mean, if we hold it in, if we keep it to ourselves, it stops the flow. And if we are afraid to open, we also stop the flow. I mean, this is about energy, and the money line, we can call it the energy line, and it goes both ways. And it's about keeping the heart of the tribe, which is matter, pumping. So so if we want to keep the heart of the matter pumping, we really need to give, to open, to allow things to go out, and then there is place and room for things to get in. So this, and you know, because I'm dealing with this money issue, and everywhere, I can see it everywhere, people are talking with me, so I could really feel, and the conversation that I had with her about paying to this man for this internet, for this online course, was really, really, it educated me. It gave me a lot of inspiration. So thank you. And another thing that happens that also empowered me to share something about my own experience with the transits. In the 19th, we are going to have 10 hours of the moon in the 55th gate. And the 55th gate just left the nodes. And a few days after this departure, I noticed, and it took me a few days to notice, to look back and notice that the whole pattern of eating, of this emotional eating, this stressful emotional eating that always is there when the 55th gate is there, because I have in my notes the 39th gate, and it was really strong. I fought it and I struggled. I struggled for a few months, and my friends too, and we sometimes remember the 55th gate is there, but sometimes we didn't, because it's a long-term transit, so we don't always remember it. It becomes us. So when it moved, I could feel the relief, and I suddenly noticed, and I shared it with a friend, and he has the same issue about the 39 and the open solar with the open 55th gate, and suddenly he told me, oh, I also feel the relief. It's amazing. It must be this. And then I shared it with two people that don't have the 39th gate and don't have a defined solar plexus. So actually, the 55th gate wasn't connected directly to their chart, but they could feel it too. So then I could see 2 points, important points to notice. The first one is that a long-term transit is really something that can teach us a lot after it moves, because I could really feel the change. I mean, and I could really feel the difference between the 59th gate and the 30th gate and the 29th. I really could feel the difference. And the second thing is that transits affect us even if they are not connected directly to our chart, and especially when they are long-term transits, because they are there, and this is neutrinos, and it doesn't really matter if it touches our chart, because, as I said, we don't have a real chart. We have our direction, we have the way the chart shows us who we are mechanically. But every minute we experience so much more than who we are. We experience everything around, through people, through transits. We experience every gate, every line, every color, every tone. So we are affected, and we are supposed to be affected by this. It's not a curse. It's not something that we need to, let go. It's not. It's just, we experience it, but we navigate through it according to our very, very differentiated design. And we have our strategy of the type that, as we said, is refined by our specific design. And we have our very unique decision-making process that really holds together all the characteristics of our design. So if we are surrendered to our differentiation, then we experience everything in the correct way. So if something is there, like, for example, if the new nodes we have now don't connect to your chart, it doesn't matter. You would feel it. You would feel the effect of this. If the sun doesn't connect to your design, you will feel it, and so on. And of course, again, with long-term transits, we can really feel the effect, especially when it's gone. When it's gone, we can look back and say, okay, now I know what this Pluto did to me, what this Saturn did to me, and so on. And if we look at the 55th gate, just because this is an inspiration, we know that this gate shows us that spirit and matter are actually one, exactly as the money line showed us this, because we are talking about abundance is strictly a question of spirit. So if we are empowered by life to evolve spiritually and materially, evolve all the time, then we will experience the flow of abundance this way or another, according to where we are in our evolution, where we are in our community, where we are in our cycles, yes, and where we are in our experiment with the human design, with our human design. Where are we in our deconditioning? The more we allow, the more comes in, and of course, we need to also allow it to continue the flow. If we hold something in, we're stuck. So, so in this spirit of allowing the flow, I will allow the flow of my day to continue, and I will leave you now. Thank you very much, and see you when I see you. Bye-bye.